Friends, welcome back to our YouTube SEMT channel. Today we are going to do the revision of chapter number 2, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. This chapter is already taught to you in the class. Now we are revising the chapter. So when we talk about flowering plants means they are angiosperms, right? So over here let me write angiosperms. Okay, angiosperms are flowering plants which bears flower, right? Angiosperm, it bear flower. Now you are knowing that flower is the reproductive unit of the plant. It is actually a modified shoot, right? It is a modified shoot which is meant for reproduction. So when I talk about flower has mainly four valves. Two are accessory and two are necessary. First, let's talk about the accessory valve, that is calyx and corolla. Talking about the calyx is the outermost valve which is generally green in color, and its individual units are referred as sepals, right? Sepals are protecting the flower at bud stage. This is the function of the calyx. Sepals protect the flower at bud stage. Next one is corolla. Corolla is inner wall to the calyx. Its individual unit is referred as petals. Petals are colorful, right? In different flowers they are of different colors. Their function is to attract the insects for pollination, as well as it also protects the inner two walls. So that is the corolla. This two does not directly take part in reproduction, so they are categorized into accessory walls. Next one is androecium, right? Next one is androecium. This is male part of the flower. And next one is gynosium. This is female part, right? When we talk about sexual reproduction, we are going to concern with androecium and gynosium. So, in sexual reproduction, there are three events: pre-fertilization events, fertilization events, and post-fertilization events. So, when we talk about the pre-fertilization events, we are concerned with formation of gametes and transfer of gametes, as we have studied in the chapter 1, right? Pre-fertilization events. Pre-fertilization events, in that, let's say male gametophyte. Okay, development of male gametophyte occurs in the stamen. Stamen is the individual unit of the androecium, right? Stamen is consist of three parts: stamen, then microsporangium and pollen. These are this is the our topic of male reproductive system. Stamen is consist of three parts: anther, filament, and connective. Right? Now, anther is the main part which produces the pollen. Right? So, anther is composed anther wall. Anther is a hollow bile of sac-like structure which produces pollens. So, anther wall is composed of four layers, and after that there comes a sporogenous tissue which produces pollens. So, layers or four walls. Outermost is epidermis. Inner three are endothecium, middle layers, and tapetum. Now, epidermis, endothecium, and middle layer protect the anther, right? Protects the anther and helps in dehiscence, while the innermost tapetum nourishes the developing pollens. sporogenous tissue, sporogenous tissue, it will undergo microsporogenesis and that will produce the pollens, haploid pollens, right? Each pollen will contain two male gametes. Okay? Same way, when we talk about the female gametophyte, female gametophyte is consist of, it will undergo development in, let's say, carpel, megasporangium, that is ovule, and we can say embryo sac, right? Now, carpel is also consist of three parts that we have already studied. Carpels are composed of stigma, style and ovary, right? Stigma is the receptive surface for the pollen. A stalk-like structure is referred as style, and the swollen basal part is referred as ovary, which bears the ovule, that is megasporangium, right? Now, in the gynosium or carpel, one megaspore mother cell undergoes division, meiotic division, to form four megaspores. Out of that, three gets degenerated, and that kind of development is referred as monosporic development, right? So that three degenerated megaspores, the left one is only one, that is functional megaspore. It will undergo three times mitotic division of nucleus, and that is why in embryo cell there will be 8 nucleus, as there is 3 times mitotic division. Now, out of that 8 nucleus, 3 gets arranged in, say this is an embryo cell, 3 gets arranged on the opposite side of the micropylar region, that is chalazal end. 3 gets arranged towards the micropylar end and 2 remains in the center. Later on there is a formation of cell wall. So this is the arrangement where you can see 7 celled and 8 nucleus condition, right? So this is about the formation of the gametes, where you can see 3 antipodals, 2 polar nuclei, 2 synergids and 1 egg cell. Okay, so this is about the embryo cell. Now, when I say about the transfer of the pollens, right, we require special mechanism. As the plants are there, plants are non-motile, so there might be certain mechanism which can transport the pollens from anther to the stigma. So that is called as pollination, right? It is called as pollination. So when I talk about pollination, pollination is underwent by two, right? It is underwent by abiotic and biotic means by the help of wind and water that are not living, that are called as abiotic agents. So in that you can see wind, in that the example is grasses, right? In case of water, we can say Vallisneria, Hydrilla. These are pollinated by water. Biotic agents include, say, wind pollination is referred as anemophily. Water pollination is referred as hydrophily. While biotic agents, you can say animals, and that is example are many. You can take insects, you can take bees, honeybees. Such kinds of animals are undergoing pollination, right? Now, in case of animals, we are saying it zoophily. Okay, and especially when we say about insects, it is referred as entomophily. So these are the types, these are the pollinations. Now, its types of pollination. When pollination occurs on the same flower, it is called as autogamy. When pollination occurs to the neighbor flower of the same plant, right, it is referred as geitonogamy. And when pollination is occurring on the another flower of different plant, it is referred as xenogamy. So there are three types of pollination: autogamy, geitonogamy and xenogamy. Now there are certain adaptations which are made for particularly undergoing self-pollination, that is homogamy, means the synchronization of pollen release and stigma receptivity is same, means they are well synchronized. So there are chances of homogamy, means transfer of the pollen from the same flowers anther to the same flower stigma, right? Second one is cleistogamy. In cleistogamy, we can take example of viola, right? Okay. In these plants, the flower, there are two types of flower. One are aerial flowers and one are underground. The aerial flowers open, so all the three types of pollination occurs in it, right? But in those flowers which does not open at maturity are referred as cleistogamous, means they remain closed. That means there is 100% chances of only and only autogamy, right? This is an adaptation. Okay, let's move further. After that, when pollen is landing on the stigma, when pollen lands on the stigma, there is process called as pollen pistil interaction, right? So what happens in pollen pistil interaction? When I talk about pollen pistil interaction is the recognition of the pollen which lands on the stigma, whether it is compatible or not, right? If it is compatible, it will be allowed to develop the pollen tube. So over here I can say there is recognition of pollen, whether it is compatible. If it is compatible, pollen tube will develop, and incompatible pollen, it will be inhibited from developing the pollen tube. So this will be rejected. The right type will be allowed to develop the pollen tube, while the wrong type will be inhibited. Now, when we talk, the next part is fertilization events, right? Next part is fertilization events. Now you are knowing that initially, let's say when fertilization occurs, first is double fertilization, right? Yes or no? Okay. So when we talk about the double fertilization, what happens? This is embryo sac. These are three antipodals. These two are pollen nuclei. These two are synergids. And this one is egg cell. So in double fertilization, there are two fusions. One with, that is syngamy, right? Syngamy. That is fusion of male gamete plus egg, right? That is the first fertilization. Because pollen contains two male gametes, first one fuses with the egg, second male gamete is resulting in formation of endosperm. Now male gamete is haploid, egg is haploid. This will result in formation of zygote. And second fertilization is like this: male gamete plus polar endosperm, endosperm or polar nuclei polar nuclei is 2n, and this will result in primary endosperm nucleus, that is PEN. This will be 3n, right? This will be 3n. Zygote will be 2n. Okay. Later on, after fertilization, there comes post-fertilization events. Post-fertilization events includes embryo formation, right? Embryo formation and formation of endosperm, right? These two are included in post-fertilization events. So must remember, endosperm will be always 3n, while zygote is going to develop into embryo. So this will be 2n cells and this will be triploid cells. Okay. After that, when we see formation of ovary develops into fruit, right? Ovary develops into fruit. Fruits are of three types, right? We have already said when fruit is developed from fertilized ripened ovary, it is referred as true fruit. When it is developed without fertilization, it is referred as parthenocarpic fruit, as in seed. When we talk about the without fertilization, it is called as parthenocarpic, and the examples are banana and seedless grapes. The third one, right, is false fruit. When the edible portion or when the fruit is formed from the other part than the ovary, like thalamus or calyx, such type of fruits are referred as false fruit. And the example is apple, right? So ovary develops into the fruit, while the ovule, fertilized ovule, develops into seeds. There are certain special modes of reproduction. Certain special modes are referred as, first one is apomixis. When development of seed, when development of seed occurs without the fertilization, that is called as apomixis. Then next one is parthenocarpy. When development of fruit occurs without fertilization is called as the parthenocarpy. Development of fruit without. Over here we are talking development of seed without fertilization. Over here we are talking development of fruit without fertilization. The last one is polyembryony, as in citrus, right? That if there is formation of more than one embryo, that is called as polyembryony. Okay, so this is the quick overview of entire chapter. Thank you.